I'm Delane Simpson. I'd like to call to order the Code Enforcement and Nuisance Board meeting for August 22nd. It's approximately 5 o'clock, City Hall Commission Chambers. I'd like to have a roll call, please.
Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Dearbone, Wilder,
Here.
Thomas,
Here.
Thank you. I'd like to swear in the board, please. Swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Are there any comments or changes to the minutes of the June 27th meeting? If not, I'd like to have approval for those minutes, please.
Approval to approve them as presented.
Second.
Thomas, Wilder, Deere,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilder,
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes. Thank you. And I have no comments. Are there any announcements? All righty. We'll move right on down to the hearing, agenda, and appeals. Parking citation, there are none. Our first case under code enforcement is case number 2017, citation 2017-4677, location 1307 Sunrise Drive, North. The owner and respondent, I'll need some help on the name. Pronunciation.
Azamina, I believe.
Azamina. Azamina. Well, you'll have to correct us. Pardon me. Okay. And Brad, that's your case, sir.
This case is the result of a roaming inspection that was conducted on June 23rd of this year. During the inspection, I noted the following violations: inoperable and unlicensed vehicles, and an ongoing violation regarding illegally parked vehicles or parking on the grass or yard. I sent a notice of violation to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with a compliance reinspection of July 5th. On July 5th, I returned to the office after the holiday and had several voicemails from the property owner regarding the notice of violation I had sent, and she was asking how to be in compliance. I returned the call and first spoke with the property owner, who then handed the phone to her neighbor, who was there helping her regarding the notice and to understand everything that needed to be corrected. I explained to them both that any inoperable vehicles on the property, namely the vehicle with flat tires nearest North Sunrise Drive, needed to be repaired or removed. Additionally, I informed them that vehicles continue to park on the grass and yard in violation of code even since I had sent that notice out, and they had been given many warnings and been cited in the past for that violation. Continued noncompliance regarding that issue would result in another citation or fine, and they stated they understood and would be in compliance by the following Monday. On the 10th of July, I re-inspected and found the property to still be in violation. The inoperable van had been backed into the driveway and moved from its previous location that you see in the picture there. But it still had flat tires and was obviously inoperable. I extended the case another week to allow for full compliance. On the 13th of July of this year, I noted that there were several vehicles parking in the grass, again in several locations. On the 17th of July, I re-inspected and found the property to still be in violation. There were 2 inoperable and unlicensed vehicles on the property, as well as a vehicle parked and stored on the front yard or grass. A citation was issued on that date and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. Photographs were taken, which you see in front of you, of the citation and the property at the time it was posted. And a compliance reinspection date of the 27th of July was listed on the citation. The property owner came to our office, and I assisted her with bringing the property into compliance, and she did so by the 21st of July, and the case was closed after 29 days. 2 things to note. Number one, the property owner and tenants have been notified 8 prior times by notice of violation, door hanger, and verbally regarding illegally parked vehicles on the grass and yard. And additionally, the property was cited in March of this year for the same violation due to continued non-compliance. Additionally, as of yesterday, which was the 21st, as you'll see in this picture, they again have vehicles, or had a vehicle parked in the yard. They had been in compliance up until up until yesterday, and then yesterday there were vehicles again parked in the yard. Tim, if you go back one to that folder, where it says, down at the bottom, car in the yard on yesterday's date. And again, they've got vehicles parked in the mud and the grass, again in violation. So, as of today, though, the pictures Tim just had up, as of today, the property is in compliance.
Is this a private home or is it a rental property?
No, it's a private home, owner
Private home.
occupied. Yes, sir.
Do we have a person present that would like to address this? No, if you and you're welcome to do so, please.
I'm working.
Couple things. One, please tell us your name. Secondly, I have to swear you in, and then you may tell us.
Okay. My name is Azamina Ibrišević.
Okay, let's swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Go slow now so we can understand you.
Okay. This is my first time to come in for court for anything. You know, I never have a problem. But I think so when I have in my house and I pay property on tax on everything, I can parking my car. But I understand I have in my yard. I like it to look nice. It's no mess, nothing. But my boy sometimes move his car. I move his car so fast and I go work. My boy go school and just this happen. I don't know what to tell you. I know having money to pay. This is first time I pay, but this second time I don't know what to do.
Well, maybe those people who are parking their cars there can pay this for you, if they won't listen to you.
This is my boy, his car, but his friends sometimes come and I working. And
You see, you're responsible, ma'am.
I understand.
You're responsible.
But I think so it's not happen more.
But didn't we have one there today?
Yesterday.
I understand there was another car there today. This morning.
Have you had a discussion one or more times with your son about the
I-
violation of the rules and that he needs to be accountable and act right and be responsible
I
for
go-
his behavior?
I go talk with him today and I tell him who I go today, what happened today. I working for that much money and I to pay this for him is no good.
Does he work? Is he
This go school,
a student at Western by chance?
yes. This go today's first day for school for college.
He does not work.
No. I working, I start 7 o'clock morning, I go 6:30.
No comments by the board?
I think you need to have a pretty strong talk with your son.
I will today, because
And
it's.
I would, he needs to find a job, maybe, and help you with the expenses that you're inheriting from his ill behavior.
I'd also suggested to Azamina when she'd come into the office of maybe, as we've had in the past, where landlords have put some sort of stakes in the yard with rope or something around it to keep people off of the grass. And we had talked about that, of putting up pavers or stones or something around the yard.
The cars out, yeah.
So that might be a good alternative, you know, if the kids still aren't listening. Because there's ample parking. I mean, it's a very large driveway. There's a separate paved area off to the right that you see there in the picture. So there's
Ma'am, how many cars or how many people live at this property, and how many cars are there on a daily basis?
It's three cars, but two vans on, I don't know to driving one vans. Every time when this behind me, it's hard. But I go telling today, trust me, I go today to be tell, to not doing more. If somebody come and doing, this need pay. I know, you know, it's hard for me.
Well, it's hard for us because basically the code's been broken and you're saying that you can't do anything about that because your son is not complying, and not to be redundant, we've already said this once, that your son's not complying to the rules. And I can assure you that our board is a very lenient board and compassionate to those that try to do right. And it seems that the case was closed, but Brad, did you say that there was something in March regarding this same piece of property?
Well, yes, again, to recap kind of the history of the property. The property has, in the last 2 years, so since January 2016, they've been notified 8 times by notices of violation about illegally parking vehicles in the yard, as well as I've left several door tags and verbally spoken with Azamina and her neighbor about it. And then it was cited in March, $103.81 for vehicles parked on the grass as well.
I'm ready to make a motion.
I have one comment.
All right.
The appeal that you wrote, Azamina, said all vehicles have been removed by last Friday. No one else will park on the grass from now on, and that was dated last month on the 24th. So you represented that that would not happen again.
I tell to no parking over there, but my boys know over there when this happened. My boys know over there when I talking with my boyfriend. When I tell my boys is school and no over there, no home. Please, it's not happen more. I go today talking and I don't know what to do.
Well, maybe if you go home and tell your son and his friends that you have a $200 or $300 bill, whatever it is, and they should pay that, would that get their attention?
I don't know what to do because this go school, how it is.
We all have children that go to school, ma'am, at some point in time. They got cars. How do they drive their cars? How do they even go to school if they don't have work some way? Anyway, you need some help, okay? We want to help you by giving you some ammunition to take to them and say, hey, we can't do this anymore. And I'm ready to make a motion. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to uphold the citation and fine in the amount of $203.81.
Second.
Simpson, Deere. Deere.
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Wilder,
Yes.
Thomas.
Okay. What that means, ma'am, is that we upheld the citation and fine because of the history of everything that's taken place at your home. So please encourage your family, friends, or whoever to stop violating the law. We want to help you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, case number 2. Case 2017-5626, citation 2017-4350, 1524 Audubon Drive, owner YB&R Investments, LLC, respondent Don Minton. And Brad, this is yours also.
This case is the result of a citizen complaint that we received to the city hotline. I conducted an inspection of the property on the 30th of June, the pictures of which you see in front of you. During that inspection, I noted the following violations: broken windows, broken unsecured rear door, a vacant unsecured building, tires that are stored outdoors, indoor furniture stored outdoors, an unsecured accessory structure, an accessory structure in disrepair, accumulated rubbish, garbage, and debris on the property, gutters and downspouts and drains not maintained in good repair, vacant structure or land not maintained in good condition, inadequate protective treatment and peeling paint on accessory structure and main structure, and failure of owner to maintain private property. I sent a notice of violation to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with a compliance reinspection of the 31st of July. I also called the property owner while I was sitting in the driveway of this house after my inspection. I explained all of the violations and stated I would be sending him a notice of violation in the mail to keep an eye out for it, and that he needed to secure the structure in the meantime. On the 31st of July, I re-inspected and found the property to not only still be in violation, but to actually be worse than it was when I had sent the first notice. I issued a citation on that date and posted it on the property, as well as sent it by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. I took photographs of the property, which Tim will show you now, and I listed a compliance re-inspection date on the citation of the 10th of this month, which has since been postponed due to the filed appeal. The case is at 62 days today. We'll show you pictures here in just a moment of today, but this again is when the citation was issued. You see the accessory structure there. I'm not sure if someone's living in it or just throwing all their trash in it. Tires and furniture, broken back door. If you note in this picture, there is still some glass and door there. As of today, that's been knocked out too. So whoever's coming and going in this house has knocked the rest of that glass and the door out. Tires, you can see that there's at least 2 broken windows in the back of the structure. Property's been red tagged and it is vacant. And then, as you'll see the pictures today, certainly nothing is any better. It should also be noted that this property continues to be a blight on the area in which it's located. There have been 9 other code enforcement cases at this property in the last 12 months alone. The property was brought in front of the board and in front of you gentlemen in January of this year due to a citation appeal filed on the property by the property owner in December of 2016. At that time, the board unanimously upheld that citation and fine. It may jog your memory when you see the pictures of the back of the house where Mr. Minton had put siding up where there was exposed wood from a window that had been knocked out in the bathroom and such, as well as a bunch of interior violations. So obviously it's gone downhill since then.
Were the fines paid? Fines were not paid? Or what, do you know what's outstanding fine-wise from that time? Dollar-wise?
Brad?
I can, hold on one second, let me check. And again, notice there in that picture, Tim, if you can go back one, there's your door where it's missing more of the glass and looks like it's been jimmied open or forced open as far as the door frame goes. It appears well, if I'm reading this correctly, the due date for the last case was January 12th, 2017. At that time, the overall invoice was $1,229.77, and the best I can tell, that remains unpaid. And it also looks like there's an outstanding one on that property from February and March of 2016 that's unpaid for $132.75. And again, that also appears to not have any resolution here in the computer. So without having finance confirm that, that's just what it looks like in the computer as of now.
Well, $1,300. Close
Roughly.
to it.
Yep.
When a debt is not paid on time, is there some kind of a penalty assessed to the responsible person, like a 3% interest, or?
There is on the citation here, I believe it, I don't know if it has the percentage, let me check. Tabitha, do you know that off the?
They will start charging interest over, if it's not been paid, probably within 2 months, I would say. And it is liened against the property as well.
Dr. Wilder, excuse me. That's changed as of June 29th. Once upon a time, it was one interest rate. Today, it's a max rate of 6% a year.
Okay, there you go.
That's always been in flux.
So that's building up now on this and indebtedness we've got, $1,200 or
If the
$1,300.
city chooses to enforce that, they have the right. And my understanding is, from time to time, they do.
Board got any questions of Brad? Mr. Minton? Familiar face. Swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God.
Do.
Thank you.
Brad's correct. Of course, when we had the other citations on it, I took care of everything. I've since had to evict people that was living in the residence. Evidently, they're coming back and breaking in and going inside the house. They went inside the garage, and they've, as you see what they've done to the garage, they've broken the doors, they've broken the windows. Matter of fact, I just went to that house before I come here because I haven't been out. Haven't been out in the last 3 to 4 weeks. I've had some health issues, and matter of fact, there's been 12, 15, 18 days I haven't even been out of my house. I mean, I apologize to y'all. My goal was to never have to come back up here again, but, you know, we don't foresee this stuff. You know, I went in, I had sugar 400 and had my blood pressure 200 over 105, and I've been to the hospital and had tests. I got to go for a test again tomorrow. Don't want to sit here and make excuses, but that's what's happening. I've got, you know, my family's got health issues, and I'm having them right now. I didn't even feel like coming up here tonight, to be honest with you.
Description would be to sell this particular property.
Well, I'd like to sell them all, sir, but I mean, I've got to, I can't get anybody to do anything. I mean, I had guys come and put a roof on one of my houses. I told them I need.
That's even more reason why to sell them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've called these people. I asked them, told them I needed a maintenance man. They said they would be glad. As a matter of fact, they went and gave me a price on the job, and I called them back and told them to come and do it. Haven't seen them since. Had another guy do some yard work for me. He worked half a day one day, come back and worked probably 2 or 3 hours the next day, and said he needed some money, and I went on and gave him some money, and I haven't seen him since. You know, of course, like I said, I haven't been out the last 3 or 4 weeks, so I mean, I can't, I know Brad, we got some yards, and I started, cut a couple of yards that I had to cut, and I cut another yard, and it was up high and it was dark, and I ran over something, tore my mower up, and I had to have Romans fix it again, but I haven't done anything. Even to my own personal property, I haven't done anything here the last 3 or 4 weeks, but.
Mr. Minton, do you know who did this? You said that.
Well, I was renting it to an elderly woman named Jackson, and she had all kinds of relatives.
The reason I asked that is, have you filed any charges against these people?
You can't file charges if you don't say anything.
Well,
You know, if you can't prove that they've done it, you don't know.
well, that's the point that I was trying to make.
Yeah, but they, you know, like I said, they, as you see, they broke, you know, I wouldn't have a door with the windows out and let people go in, but they've broken out 3 or 4 windows in the house, and they've, all that garbage accumulated. I don't know where it come from. I just don't really know.
Brad, you said this property was cited January the 12th?
I believe the property was cited at the end of last year, and Mr. Minton had appealed it in December, but because there was no December meeting, it came in front of the board at the January meeting. So at the January meeting, the appeal was upheld unanimously by the board at that time. But at that time, the property had been brought in compliance. That's where the siding is on the back of the house. Mr. Minton had made the necessary corrections inside and out. There was switch plates and several electric receptacles inside. I don't remember off the top of my head. Some things with the bathroom, the toilet, and the sink, and that sort of thing. So all those things had been rectified, and the siding there, as you see, Mr. Minton had done and trimmed out. And so at that point, the case was closed by the time January rolled around, but the citation was still upheld because there was no December meeting.
And the fines weren't paid that we know of.
That's correct. It looks like all the way back to even the one before that, which was February of 2016. I don't recall what that case was. There's 17 cases on this property in the last couple of years, so I'd have to go back and look. But there was also an additional citation back from February of 2016 that's also unpaid.
Like I said, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I've been having a hard time. My mother's been down here for 2.5 years. My son has been, in September, it'll be 3 years that he's been down, and he's not getting any better. Took my mother to the doctor today, and she's not getting any better. I've got to go to the doctor tomorrow. I've got to go to the doctor Friday, and then I've got to go to the doctor Monday. Like I said, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just telling you what's going on. And if I had somebody to help me to rectify it, you know, and it's not like I haven't been trying. Like I said, I've put, matter of fact, I've put out a couple notices to the board to see if they knew anybody that would work on property for them. I even told Brad that I hired Ray Thomas, and he worked about a week on a piece of property, and we made an agreement for him to do it for, I think, $1,800, but he wanted $500 counted up front. And when I paid him the $500, I didn't see him again. And Brad knows, was telling me some things, so I mean, I don't know, but it's just not, like I said, it's not like I'm not trying, and if I had the health, which I am getting better because they're giving me some medicine. I've got 3 kinds of medicine, but the heart doctor's talking about putting a defibrillator in there, and that. Anyway, I'm just, I don't want to get up here like a crybaby or anything else, but that's just the facts. I'm not trying to snowball y'all or anything else. And like I said, last time I seen you, my goal was not to come in here again. I just don't.
So at this point, we have outstanding balance of $1,362 in fines.
That would not be including this current citation, I believe. They wouldn't include that yet. So it's probably around 18
That's to,
to 2,000.
Not counting today.
Right,
that's correct.
From what we were
But
able
that's
to.
to YB&R investments.
correct. Well, yes.
I don't think it was YB&R. I think it was
The
other.
previous ones weren't.
I don't think it was.
D&L Rentals.
Out back then, yeah.
I think it was.
We do need to get that worked out, get that to Mr. Minton.
Yes.
Board got any more?
Motion.
Please.
I'd like to make a motion to uphold the citation and fine for $603.81.
I second that motion.
Thomas, Simpson, Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes,
Wilder,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
thank you. All right. Case number 3. Mr. Minton, you can stay there. Case number 2017-6244, citation 2017-4967, 1524 Audubon Drive, owner YB&R Investments, LLC, respondent Don Minton. And Brad, this one's yours also.
So you may recognize the address there. It's the same property that we're talking about with the other structural issues in the last case. This was the result of a roaming inspection, which was conducted on the 21st of July, and during that inspection, I noted that there was overgrown grasses and weeds on the property. Send a notice of violation to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with a compliance reinspection of the 28th of July. On the 21st, the property owner, Don Minton, called, and he and I talked. He explained that he was working on getting this and several other properties mowed. He stated he'd been sick all week and he would work on them over the weekend and have them done by the following Monday. On the 25th, I called Mr. Minton and left him a voicemail explaining that this property and several of his others were overgrown. He told me last week that he'd be mowing the property over the weekend. I also asked Code Enforcement Officer Mo Hillard if she had spoken with Mr. Minton since last week, and she tried calling him also to gain compliance. Additionally, I called Mr. Minton's son, Yancey Minton, and explained that Don was nowhere to be found and I was trying to gain voluntary compliance on several of his properties. To encourage voluntary compliance, I extended my reinspection on this case from the 28th to the 31st of July in hopes that Mr. Minton would have it mowed over the weekend and in compliance by the following Monday. On the 31st, I re-inspected and found that the property was still in violation, with the grass being several feet tall in many areas of the yard. A citation was issued on that date and posted to the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. Photographs, which you see in front of you, were taken of the citation and the property at the time it was posted, and a work order was submitted to have a city contractor mow the lot. The lot was mowed by the property owner, not the city contractor, prior to the city contractor arrival. The case was closed on the 3rd of August after 14 days into the case.
That's awfully high grass.
And just for clarification, on many of the cases that come in front of the board, we have a tape measure, measuring stick to show how tall, and quite frankly, I didn't do that here.
That fence
'cause
is
it's-
probably
Right, well, and
4
there's
foot.
also, in the front yard, there's a pole lamp, and it's up to the light bulb in the pole lamp, so.
That's pathetic.
So so the grass behind, on the back side of the fence where the gate's open, is that the property we're talking about?
That's all part of the backyard. There's just a little dog run area or a fence inside. Tim, if you go to the next picture there, if you keep going through, there's one of the backyard. That's there, right there is, this is to the left of this fence. To the right of the fence is a different property. So everything to the left of this fence, you'll see at the top of that picture is the white building that we saw on the last citation, where the door's open and there's all the accumulation of rubbish. You can see that there's that little fenced-in area there that hadn't been mowed in an extended period of time.
I'd like to make a motion. Mr. Minton, I'm sorry.
Well, again, I mowed it just as soon as I could get to it. I talked to Brad. The day I talked to Brad, I think he said he had some family members pass away and he had a funeral to go to. I think that's the day that I went to the doctor. I went and cut a couple yards before I went to the doctor. That was one I was going to get. I tore my mower up. I took it to Romans to have it repaired. Again, I had the health issues and since then, it's probably need mowing again, because it's been a couple of weeks since I guess it's been 3 weeks or so since I mowed it. It's in the process of need mowing again. All my properties and try to get everything taken care of here.
Else from the board?
I'd like to make a motion that we uphold the citation fine in the amount of $403.81.
Second?
Second.
Deere, Wilder. Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Wilder,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Case number 4, also you, Mr. Minton. Case number 2017-6109, citation 2017-4963, location 1405 Sunrise Drive North, owner YB&R Investments, LLC, respondent Don Minton, and Brad, this one's yours also.
The case is also the result of a roaming inspection that was conducted on the 14th of July. During that inspection, I also noted that the grasses and weeds were overgrown. I sent a notice of violation to the PVA listed owner and address with a compliance reinspection date of the 21st. On the 21st, the property owner, Mr. Minton, called and explained that he was working on getting this and several other of the properties mowed, as in the last phone call. Again, stated that he'd been sick and would be working on them over the weekend to have this property specifically done by Monday. I agreed to extend the case to the following week, and I explained that that was despite of the height of the grass, even though it was extremely overgrown. Agreed to that. On the 25th, I re-inspected and found that the property was still in violation. Again, as in the last case, left a voicemail for Mr. Minton. Also had Mo try to call and a family member of Mr. Minton's as well to try to get in touch with him. I stated in the voicemail that I would extend the case one more day for compliance before issuing a citation and having a contractor mow the lot. At that time, I also spoke with the acting code enforcement officer, Tim Butts, who was acting code enforcement coordinator on that day. Reviewed the case with him and explained that I had called Don several times, left messages, and also had tried to speak with his son to gain compliance. The following day, which was the 26th, Don called early in the morning, said that he went to this property late the night before and was trying to get it mowed. He was able to mow the front, but he hit an object in the backyard with the mower after the sun had gone down and he was mowing in the dark. He stated he was taking the mower to be repaired and he would find some way to finish the backyard as soon as possible. On the 31st of July, which is 18 days into the overgrown grass case, I re-inspected and found the property was still in violation. A citation was issued on that date and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. Photographs, which you see in front of you, were taken of the citation and the property at the time it was posted. A work order was submitted to have the city contractor mow the lot, and the city contractor did complete that work, and the case was closed.
Just for my information, and I apologize, I don't know this, but if the city contractor, if the city contractor has to go and do this, how are they reimbursed? Is there a fund set aside for this, or?
Yes, yes, we have
So the city pays for this?
Yes, we pay for it up front, and then if the bill is not paid by the owner, it is liened against the property.
It's a contract that's bid out at the start of each season, has been for a long period of time.
And is this property, oh, I'm sorry.
Remind you that you're still under oath, permissible, counsel? Okay.
Is this property unoccupied?
No, it wasn't at the time of this. I had it rented. I don't know what happened to the young man. Matter of fact, to my knowledge, he's still there, or was still, at that time, when I went to mow it, he was still there. Brad had called me. He left me a note to work with him. I should have brought that note with me, that he'd got him a job, and of course I'd given him an eviction notice on the property. He asked me if I would work with him, gave me a couple numbers. I called the numbers and talked to his dad. I told him that I had went up there and mowed the front yard, and the city was on me for, code enforcement was on me about getting it mowed, and I tore up my mower. He assured me that he would take care of it, go get it mowed. The last time that I drove by there, and I don't know when it was, I know the backyard was mowed, so I was under the assumption that he had done what he said he was going to do, and then, they
So is he
told-
currently employed, earning some income?
No, he's, to my knowledge, he's not. I went by there again, I went by there today, and all the stuff that he had out front, a grill and stuff, all that stuff.
And we
is
can
gone.
only assume that he's delinquent in paying his rent,
Oh,
right?
yeah, he's behind 2 or 3 months, if not more. You know.
I tell you, it's your responsibility. You obviously
realize
understand that.
I
And
realize that, but when I talked to
we
his
have to
daddy-
hold you accountable for
Yeah,
his
his daddy-
negligence and
Yeah, his
his,
daddy told me that they would take care of it, and like I said, the next time that I went by, and I don't know what date it was that I went by, how long it had been, because like I said, I haven't been out that much. I seen that it was mowed, and I just, under the assumption that they went up there and mowed it like they said they were gonna do. That's all, that's all I can say about that. I mean, that's just what his daddy told me, that he would take care of it, the night that I talked to him on the phone.
I wonder if the city contractor people, if Don could contact the city contractor people and negotiate a private thing separate aside with the city contractor people who mow grass all the time. And you got 20, 40 properties, maybe they'll give you a deal. Instead of you ended up having to pay gigantic fines and prices on your yard.
Yeah, I've asked Mo, and I think I've asked Brad too, if they've known people that I could get in touch with. And Mo told me that she would give, she wasn't supposed to, well, they said.
Well, they probably are not, but,
But she said she would, give my name out and.
yeah.
But you know, there must be 100 individuals in this community who are professionally mowing yards.
All the time.
More than
I can't
100.
imagine out at where I live, there
Well,
must
I haven't tried.
be 10
I
different groups.
never have tried to hire anybody, because that's the one thing, if I was riding lawnmower, that I can still do. There's not a whole lot of
Sure.
things that I can do, but that's one expense that I can.
But you can't do it while your lawnmower is
Well, yeah,
not repaired.
well, yeah,
Where you
it's repaired now, and like I said, but it's been a health issue here for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and like I said, I don't want to, that's just the way it is.
To your point, Mr. Simpson, what we typically do is when a customer asks about contractors, in this case, the city has 3 mowing contractors now. We would give them the contact information for all 3 and let them figure out which one they want to do and let them negotiate what they want to
That's
do.
a fair way to do it. You're not
And that way,
committing. Yeah,
there's no preference. He can pick and choose.
yeah. Have you been able to do that, or?
Again, he's apparently talked to a couple of our officers, but that's typically what we would offer them is you choose, and here they are, and here's who mows your yards. Maybe we can
Like I
still do
said,
it.
Okay.
I asked Mo, and she said she would give my name.
Well,
She said she
okay,
would
well,
give my name, and they could contact me.
Mr. Minton, we've had this issue a long time and several times, and no need belaboring the point there. You're,
It has been corrected. That one's been mowed. Matter of fact, it needs to, like I said, I need to spend the next 2 or 3 days going around mowing all of them.
but your health is not good, and your mower's not
Well,
working.
It's not that good, but
Okay.
no, I don't need to be out there in the heat and doing this, but it's got to be done. I'm going to have to do something.
Any more discussion by the board? Comments? Motions?
Make a motion that we uphold the citation and fine in the amount of $103.81.
Second.
Deere, Thomas. Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Wilder,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Minton. Yes, sir.
No, sir, there's one more.
Chairman, back page.
No, I know, but not for Mr. Minton.
Yes.
No, there
that
is.
him. IB&R Investments is him.
Case number 5?
Yes, sir.
Then you got repeat offender. Is that what you're talking about?
The repeat offender is it? Uh-huh.
All right. Excuse me. Oh, I see you. Yeah, I beg your
Sorry,
pardon.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, repeat offender. YB&R Investments LLC. Mr. Napper, you got this one, sir.
Yes, sir. As with typical repeat offenders, I have you see in front of you a list of at least 7 properties that we're actually bringing up in front of you. And some of you might have the question of why is it just now coming up with these 7? Because some of these 7 are from 16, several cases from 2016, and then 17 as well, and then also 2015. But because of the YB&R Investments LLC name, that property was part of the Russellville Road property. If you recall, that property we dealt with for quite a while. So once that case gets closed, then it frees up the ability to go ahead and take, because it qualifies, the repeat offender at that point. So then at that point, we get the net out and we scoop up the ones that has that name attached to it, and then go from there. So that's what you're seeing now. From 1102 Fair Street, a citation issued back in 2017. It's unpaid fines. 1324 College View Drive, 2 citations from 2016, both unpaid. 820 Glenley Road, 3 citations in 2016, all 3 unpaid. another 2 citations on that same property in 2016, so 5 total, all unpaid. 416 Warren Way, another citation, 2016 unpaid. 1500 Sunrise, North Sunrise, 3 citations from 2016, all 3 unpaid. 1601 Sharon Drive, 2 citations from 2015, both unpaid. And 757 Old Morgantown Road, there's 4 citations ranging from 2015, 1, and 3 others in 2017, all unpaid. And as the categories that you'll see below for a repeat offender, there's 3 categories, A, B, and C. Mr. Minton qualifies all 3 repeat offender categories he qualifies.
And to remind you that you are still under oath. Thank you.
I don't think any of these properties that they're talking about, I think the 2340 Russell Road was the only one that was in YBNR. These others was in different LLCs at the time. These citations was cited.
There was a different owner? There was a different owner at that time?
Well, it's different LLCs. I don't own any of the LLCs. I just county manage them, so they're,
You pay the bills?
Who owns these? Who owns these if you don't?
in my wife's name. I mean, my wife signs all the LLCs are in her name. They're not in, I don't have anything.
Mr. Minton, how many LLCs do you have?
She has one right now. We transferred everything into YBR. We had B&L Investments and B&L Rentals and YBR.
In light of all of your difficulties, financial and other, health and litany of issues that you've been facing, and I know you've been challenged by that, both economically and physically and emotionally, obviously.
That's one
Do
thing.
you have a good friend who's got a legal background who could sit down and, have you considered filing bankruptcy or taking some kind of action that would enable you to get out from under the wrath of all?
I've got to sit down, me and my wife has to sit down on kind of my recent health issues. We've got to sit down and of course, and she's in force, we're going to try to liquidate as much as we can. This is one thing that the doctors say is causing me problems.
Stress has got you.
Sure, and I can understand that. I feel for you. We empathize with you, and we've tried to help you and assist you and help you chart out a plan of action to get, but it just seems like it's almost a hopeless.
I talked to Harris Pepper, and I've got to sit down here. There was some things a couple months ago, and matter of fact, he called me last night, and there's a lot of things that I have to, we have to sit down and decide a lot of decisions we have to make. But I've got, I'm not worried about. I can't say I'm not worried. Like I said, I'm so stressed out. It's unbelievable. But right now, the properties and stuff, they've got to take a back seat to what else.
And we understand that, sir. We're not, we certainly understand that, and
I don't know what to tell you. On this repeat offenders, like I said, my goal is not to have to come up here anymore in front of you guys whatsoever. I apologize for having to come up tonight, but like I said, there's some things you can't help. It's just the way it is.
Any more discussion by the board or staff?
Mr. Broderick, excuse me,
Yeah.
isn't there an agency in Bowling Green that provides free legal assistance, and
Kentucky Legal Aid, yes, sir.
are you
I don't
familiar
know.
with Kentucky Legal Aid?
Like I said, I've got Harris
Pepper.
Pepper, yeah, he's an attorney. I'm talking to him, trying to work out something with him.
He's gonna want
He's gonna want some money.
The clock's gonna be ticking when he consult with Mr. Pepper.
Yeah. He's, but I've done talked to him about some things, and supposedly we'll get the ball rolling here.
Just curiosity, who owned the Russellville Road Trailer Park? Who?
YB&R.
Your wife? And I understood that some of the fines and fees were paid out of the proceeds from that.
I think it was
Okay, it's neither here nor there. Any more discussion? Comments, board? Motion?
I'll make a motion that we designate these properties as repeat offender and set the future citation in the amount of $900 for a period of 24 months as dictated by the ordinance.
I'll second that motion.
Just for clarification, you're deeming YB&R Investments LLC the repeat offender, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
the property.
But that was my question a little bit ago. How many LLCs are we dealing with here? Are we dealing?
Just YB&R
And I think
Investments
that's what we're
LLC.
doing.
His testimony, that's where you are now, so
Correct.
that's an appropriate
Right.
motion.
Okay.
What's this mean?
That YB&R Investments LLC will be deemed a repeat offender. That name,
Which means, Mr. Minton, what happens is, from this day forward, so starting tomorrow, any of your properties, not because you get violations of notice of violations, not that, but if you have to get cited again, it'll automatically be, if they vote this in, it'll automatically be a $900 fine. And you have at least,
From this,
starting to, yes, sir. Correct. It's just for this particular, any property that has the, the YB&R name attached to it, that's what it'll be qualified, okay?
Did we say the YB&R or its successor?
I don't think you can. I think you can only do it to YB&R now. If YB&R tries to transfer the property, it's on notice that these fines are there. I mean,
Right.
it's not gonna be successful if he transfers it. If Mrs. Minton transfers it to a new LLC to avoid this, in my opinion, that won't work.
Right.
okay, so we had Deere and Simpson. Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Wilder,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
I understand this correctly, the others, these things that you just brought up, they're not fined?
No, sir. This is only for future fines, okay? So it just means that you have this designation, and if it gets to the point, between any of the other officers we have, code enforcement officers, if it gets to the point beyond the NOV, notice of violations, and they have to cite you, it won't be a $100 fee or two or three. It'll be an automatic $900 each time they do that. For 2 years.
Well, hopefully I won't have them around. Just have to wait and see.
Mr. Minton, I just want to make sure that you're clear. The citations that were mentioned tonight in this repeat offender, okay, no additional money was put on those fines tonight, but the fines are still, they stand and they're still outstanding. And there's 18 citations. The total of those citations is a little over $25,000.
Correct.
Can I pick up a copy of those?
The Treasurer's Department can provide those for you. They send out monthly bills on all of those.
Well, if we already know what they are, can we help out and give the finance people a list of that, or?
Well, yes, they can print it all on one piece of paper where I can't.
Because it's under his name?
It's under YB&R Investments.
Do you
Yes.
understand what I'm talking about? I don't want to go out searching for something that's gonna be difficult to find.
Where's it at?
1017 College Street in the annex.
Okay.
That's where the treasurer's office is, and they can print that out for you, like all on one piece of paper for you, okay?
Much.
Next door, isn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Minton.
All right, thank you.
We have a motion, don't we? Okay.
Adjourn.
No, did we vote on,
Oh, I'm sorry. Did
No,
I
I
not
don't
read
think we
that? I
did.
thought I,
Old business. do we
pretty
have
sure I
any?
did. I did.
You voted yes.
yes, yes. All righty.
So we just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion. To adjourn.
Second,
Okay. Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
yes.
Wilder,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I forgot to thank you for coming. Next time I'll do it. Come again.